All right, trying to get a little work done, which is easier said than done oftentimes here in this house. So I've got my new Mac M4 set up, and I'm trying to get some tracks to somebody. And I'm not loving the new Mac. I mean, I had the Mac experience before. I've come from a Mac Mini to this M4, so it's like, what's the difference? Well, just it was supposed to move all my stuff for me, which it kind of does, but it can't do all the plugin licensing. So Waves is driving me crazy, and iLok is driving me crazy. I don't want iLok in my life, to tell you the truth. If any plugins have iLok, I want nothing to do with them. I regret purchasing them. And I know I do have some plugins on here that need iLok, and I will root them out and delete them and regret I ever bought them. iLok is not for me. I know it's better than it was 20 years ago, but I do not want iLok in my life. I would like to see the iLok building burnt to the ground. So I'm trying to get this guy his drum tracks. So I'm going to mute his song because I don't have permission to be playing his song. But let me just save really quick here. I'm just going to show you kind of what we're dealing with here. So I'll just play a little of these drums. So what I'm trying to do is this is take 6 of the song. So he needs these waves now to put them back on his song, right? This guy's in New York. I'm in Ontario. So what I typically do is glue all my items together. I don't even know if that's totally necessary because I think there's this other procedure we're going to do that's going to do that for me. And I'm going to click on this first little piece and I'm going to shift click all the way over. So now I've highlighted this entire track. In this case, it is the snare. I'm going to right click and I am going to glue the items. And in doing that, you can see it makes one cohesive item. Now, I actually probably don't need to do this because I think there's an easier way. So I'm going to go back to my one marker here. I'm going to find the end of the song, which is down here in this final cymbal hit. There's a tiny little cymbal hit there. And I'm going to grab the timeline. This is, if I didn't mention, I'm in Reaper. Basically, I'm going to grab the timeline and grab the whole song. What I'm looking to do is zero all the waves out to the beginning to give to him. And if you can't figure out why, it's because he's going to need to line these up with his own stuff, right? So if I just give him all these waves floating, especially in these pieces, these chunks, it's going to be heck for him. You know, it's going to be really bad. Let me just see if I can zoom in here a little bit. This is not how you give things to people, right? You give waves to other people as neatly organized as you possibly can so that they can sort of resynchronize all these different tracks to their own song, So we've got kick, snare, overhead right, overhead left, room, and snare bottom. A little guitar solo I did that he probably won't use, but I'll just send it to him anyway. And then this last track is called Last Symbol. So we want to zero all this stuff out. Now, there is a way to do that. I got to remember how you do that. Render mix, batch file convert, consolidate export tracks. Okay, here it is. It's consolidate export tracks. It's under the file menu here. And we're going to do the time selection. I don't know how well you can see. We're going to do the time selection. They're in 16 bits. I'm going to give them in 16-bit. 44100 waves. Wait a minute. Why does it say 24? Are they 2400 or are they 24-bit? Now I'm questioning it. Now they should be 16-bit. Let's right click. Let's go on an item property. No, it's not there. It's right click, source property. excuse me, source property, not item property. What we got here? We've got 44100, and where's the bit depth on this thing? 44100 bit depth right here, 16, integer 16. Okay, so they're definitely 16. That's how I usually record. You guys all record at 9600,000 bajillion, kajillion, billion, but I don't. I record 16-bit. My ears are only so good, right? All right. So let's go to consolidate the time selection, 44100, wave files. The bit depth is 16-bit, and all right. So this is the folder down here that it already lives in. So I'm just going to make another quick folder called consolidate. And then this way, I should have grabbed that while I had it. Media consolidator, I guess I called it. This way it dumps them in that consolidator folder. Update the project with the consolidated files. Yeah, I do want that actually. Save the new project as... Yeah, and then it's going to save a new project. So that's good. All right, so let's process this. So it's going to zero all them waves out. Basically, we're doing a giant export dump for this guy so that he can suck them up into whatever DAW he has. There we go. Those are nice looking waves. Those are nice looking waves right there. I'm just going to hit save on that. Beautiful, beautiful job. So if you've got a DP24 or a DP32, or you're going to Pro Tools, or you're going to Ableton or Fruity Loops or Cool Edit Pro or whatever your kids are using these days, Logic, these are nice looking waves to send because they're all zeroed out together, all of them. And so zero means they all meet at zero, right? They all calibrate to zero. So let's just play them for fun again. Yeah, so that's going to be good. Now, if I go into the Finder here, I should be able to find, where is this guy's stuff? Right here. Take 6, and I go into the media, because this is where I decided to drop it. And I go into consolidate. So now all I have to do, I could give him this whole Reaper session if he wants, right? Because this is the whole session. But all I would really have to do is give him these wave files. So in my case, because the guy lives like 10 hours away, I'm going to zip them up, put them on an FTP space somewhere for him. You guys could maybe use Google Drive or OneDrive or whatever file sharing, thing that you like to use. And yeah, I'll just ball these up into a zip file and send them to him. Now, I'll probably just send him the whole Reaper session just in case. I don't know that he uses Reaper, but he could, he could just pop it open to Reaper. And then failing that, the waves are right here for him. So the Reaper export consolidation method, it really does a nice job. So let's just minimize this again here. And just to remind you again where that was, my crap's offline. There we go. It was under File, Consolidate, Export Tracks, and I had already hit the time selection that I was interested in. So yeah, it's going to be handy for him to suck all these in. Now, he'd given me the stems of his song, which is this muted out one. He is now going to have to line those nicely zeroed out waves up to his whatever he has got cooking, like whatever he's been working on that song. So that's not going to be fun, but this is the best I can do for him in terms of saying, here they are zeroed out. So, yeah, well, and then I'm just going to complain about waves in this computer for a little bit longer. I just got this M4 Mac, and it's supposed to bring everything in from my last Mac, and it did. Like, it brought a lot of files and a lot of programs. What it can't bring in is your activations of your licenses, right? Like, apparently I have Softube plugins I didn't even know about, because I've, just like you guys do, I have 4,000 plugins. Like, I cannot keep track of all my plugins. Neither do you guys. You know, I'd pay for them all. They come with gear. You buy one of these Scarlett 18i20s, and it comes with freaking 10 plugins. You know, you buy a Arturia Keystep MIDI keyboard, and it comes with 10 plugins. Like, what did I buy the other day? I bought I think it was a different Arturia that I bought for my daughter, and it came with a bunch of plugins. So all these plugins find their way into your system as you buy things, right? And now once all these activations, I'm trying to work. My Waves L1 doesn't work. I'm just like, what do I really want to do? I want to work on music. And what am I doing? I'm freaking dodging plugin activations and iLok and just horse crap like that I really want nothing to do with. It makes me feel like I'm at work. I'm an IT guy. I program. I do IT. I do cybersecurity stuff. I work in AI stuff. Like, I don't program AI, but I work with it, and I'm like adapting it to our customer relations database. Like, I do that stuff for a living. I don't want to come home and be dealing with this bull crap. These plug-in companies need to make it easier, right? And, you know, if the Mac brought everything over from my other Mac, why couldn't it bring those activations? What is an activation if it's not a file? Now, I know that they oftentimes lock this stuff to unique ID, unique identification of a hard drive, and I've changed hard drives, so that's probably why a lot of this is broke. But I don't want to look at my Softube account right now, or my iLok account right now, or figure out why Waves L1 doesn't work. Apparently it's some Rosetta problem with the M. It's just like, all I know is I paid Waves a lot of money and my crap doesn't work again. So, you know, I've been collecting this outboard, and these software companies cannot come into my house and mess with my rack, right? They just can't come in and physically mess with my rack. But they can come in and mess with my software every day of the week. iLok and Waves and Universal Audio and Softube and God knows who else. They can come in and do updates and break things and want activation. Activation, I already paid you. I already gave you thousands of dollars. Knock it off, for God's sakes. That's like, so, you know, and it goes the same forever what I got under the blanket here, which is, I got a bunch of, there's a Moog grandmother, and I've got it's all covered up for dust, a modular synth, right? Try coming into my house and messing with that there, iLok, you know? This is the thing, is I've been collecting actual, I guess I don't have to say analog, some of that's digital, but actual physical hardware, right? Because these idiots at Waves and these idiots at iLok screw with things, and I've had enough. Like, I've just had enough of it. So anyway, this was really about consolidating and exporting them tracks from Reaper so you can give your tracks to your buddy in the most considerate way possible. Look how considerate those waves are. They're one item each, one wave file each, and they're all beautifully zeroed out. So, well, this has been Quest for Gear, and thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to, unless you work at iLok, in which case, rotten hell.